to high. One thing that I find with forwards is one thing is not using the D in general. That's one thing that I notice is you have two other players. So a lot of times guys get caught up. It's like the three forwards down low are the only guys that can have the puck. And especially if you're getting heavy pressure down low, moving it up just relieves pressure a lot of times because everybody has to adjust up. So that's one thing. But then the other thing is once those D have the puck, forwards trying to find ice that's actually usable. So if we assume like one guy is at the net being your screen guy or your traffic guy or whatever. So we have one guy's at the net, so he's good. Our D has the puck at the point. Those other two forwards, you need to, this is where the thinking part again comes in. There's no system here. It's just you have to find an area of the ice where you can be used if your D needs you, where you can be a threat if you can be a threat, and where you're not just running into the same areas that everybody's already into. So on the one hand, it's, yeah, we need to get traffic to the net. We want to make sure that we have guys going to the net, whatever. But on the other, it's, you have to be able to identify, oh, there's open space just off to the side or just a little bit higher. Or maybe after I give it to that D, I stay to the outside by the wall to be a release for him or whatever. And that's where the thinking part comes back in from the offensive perspective. And guys that are really good in the offensive zone, that's what they're really good at. They can find the open pockets of the ice where they can constantly be an option, turn into a threat, make a pass, whatever it is. So it's not just auto up to the D, everybody run to the net. You know, you have to have some brain about where on the ice is a good area to be.
Yeah. So example, this is another kind of philosophy that I always go by. It's a lot of people like to make the long, beautiful plays. But for me, the 5, 10, 15-foot passes are the best. So like for that example, as you said, so like say F1 had the puck. Where forward had a puck. Another guy got F's, X's, and O's and all that shit. Say there's 3 forwards here, and this guy happens to get the puck up to his D. If he stays down low, right, without any movement, then you're looking at 3 guys in front of the net here. So what do you have in between? You probably have 3, 4, or 5 defenders in between. So this getting pucks through is very, very difficult, especially at higher levels. So maybe the play is, I'm just saying maybe because it's one play, is when the puck comes up here, you already got 1 or 2 guys here, is follow it up a little bit so that when he does come across and this defender, I'll put a D here. I got Ds for no reason. This D kind of chases him. And if you come up like this, then that little short pass, 10-foot pass, maybe that's what beats this guy. Now you've got 2-on-1s going this way. So it's like using different areas of the ice, as you said, but you always want to support a puck. So there's another reason when I talk to my players about when we do passing drills is to move your feet. Because, you know, this is a philosophy in general, right? If this guy does not move his feet and he moves it up to his D and he's waiting for an outlet pass and you have all these things, then he's not, if there's a bobble, he's not in a position to defend. He's not in a position to support, right? So by moving your feet, you just automatically, just by taking 1 or 2 steps, if you move that puck, 1 or 2 steps means 3 or 4 because you're already up here and then you're reading the play nice and quick, right? And then if you bobble it or whatever, then you're already moving. So anyway, sorry.
No, that's perfect because that leads right into my next thing. I don't know if this is something to do on the board or not, but maybe just a couple comments on guys, forwards, defensemen, whatever. To your point about they have to make the long bomb, they have to make the big play, the cross ice pass through people, and super common thing is just forcing things that aren't there. So maybe just like a couple more comments on that about the simple plays, the short game, and how guys don't appreciate how good that is from an offensive perspective. Because if you're the high risk, high reward guy, that's fine, but they're low percentage plays again, right? So it's like you have to be able to see that the simple plays are often, or the easy plays are often the better plays, the more effective plays for that exact reason, as it's hard to defend. You know, it's easy to make a 5-foot pass. It's easy to make a 10-foot pass. It's not about the fancy play all the time. But again, in the era of the hyper skill hockey that everyone is obsessed with, like these basic things that actually are more effective get lost because you feel like you have to do the sauce. You feel like you have to pass it through a guy. You feel like you have to hang on to it extra, do a spinorama, shake a guy, all this stuff, and you don't have to. Especially when you're in the offensive zone in an attack mode, like the defending guys are going to be more intense on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So to your point is like it doesn't have to go D to D down low, perfect pass. It's not going to work that way anyways, typically, because people have a hard time doing it on a power play, let alone 5-on-5. So it's like a lot of hard work, a lot of like it's all that maybe coming up the wall. It's a little play here. It's a cycle. It's using the net, because that's just a ball of confusion for most people, right? Can I go there yet or no? So like in a cycle or when you don't have like, it's really funny is a lot of people don't like to use this area of the ice. Wayne Gretzky did it for a living, right? But I'm just going to ask a question without being a teacher here is if a player is carrying the puck behind the net, an offensive zone player carrying the puck behind the net, and you're a D here and you got a forward here and you got a D here, when you get to cross this line, what do we do? It's a good question because now it's like there's the net here. It's confusing because it's not really a known area, especially in youth hockey.
Sorry to interrupt. Flip it back to our D zone episode, right? We talk about the quadrant. Like this is the transition point, right? Whose zone is it?
Right. So if you want to screw guys up, it's not like where you want to get to the front of the net, but if you want to screw guys up, like you'd be surprised if you go here and you just slam the brakes on because some guys won't go. Maybe you get two guys go, but if you're feeling two guys, then it could be a back door. It could be, keep them coming because now they're going to have three, whatever. But anyways, not to get any other philosophy other than guys don't know what to do behind the net, and you'll talk to different coaches and they'll have all different philosophies on it. So some will say you stop here and you stop here and let them play back here. Okay, that's cool. But if now their heads have to be on a swivel looking back, so who knows what's going on in this area? So it's just causes confusion. So that's another area in the offensive zone where you can look at playing and creating space and thinking. And it's like I'm not going to sit here and say do this. This is the play and this is why because all D do this. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying try using it. And even when sometimes you get in a cycle and you're working a puck all in here and it's fine. Using the back of net for a long cycle too, right? Is learning. A coach teaching like after whatever period of time, or maybe it's a cycle, like it comes up the wall and it comes back, comes up the wall, and it's like we already know that's going to be a long cycle. So instead of keeping the puck here, we know that this guy is going to release instead of going here, and you send that really long. So now you got to get all their D to shift sides. It's just a different philosophy. Maybe it opens it up. Yeah. So anyways, just use behind the net. As an offensive weapon.
So on that note, can you draw the D zone quadrants again? Just like kind of the X, the big X. So if you notice, like, and what you can watch hockey, these are like where are the common areas that guys try to make a lot of offensive plays. One is here behind the net, boom. Two is when wingers do that walkout around this area, and then three is you get your puck to your D, and where are they going? They're trying to draw it here. Right? So 1 transition area, 2 transition area, 3 transition area. It's always those areas are common, and that doesn't mean no plays can happen anywhere else, but those are common areas of the ice in the offensive zone that the team tries to get the puck because that is where the confusion happens. That's what creates chaos. You create movement around those lines, and that's where issues start to happen on the D side, right? So that's great. Behind the net, any of those areas, right? So we talked a little bit when we were talking about the forecheck about like the defensive mindset. Is there anything else from the defensive side in the offensive zone that you think we should talk about, or do you think that was fine from what we talked about before?
Just like for coaches when you're teaching this it's all about who has possession, who may have possession, and if you don't have possession, I guess it's all the same thing. If you have possession or not. So there's no point. Right. So let's just say you dump a puck in, for example, and this D is here, and there's no question he's going to get the puck. Would it make sense for your F1? Sometimes it does. But if he's like literally a zone away or half a zone away, does it make sense for him to rush? Probably.
More times than not, no.
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Like in junior pro, you'll see a lot of guy like a D will stop behind the net. and a forward will come anyways. And a lot of people say, well, what that? Why? Why? Like you're just letting them come over free. Well, you're working them out of the zone, and typically we want to get him on his backhand side. So if you can read that, get him on his backhand side, so he's having a hard time making a play. So if you can dig him out, make him feel some pressure, then that's some of the reasons why. But if you're looking at this guy's going, and I'm talking mostly youth hockey, anyways. Like, why work your ass off to get nothing done? So that's where it's in the offensive zone, but maybe it's like we talked. So now you're just taking your neutral zone and you're putting it into the offensive zone. So if we go, for example, right? So if we were doing the 1-2-2 like last week we talked about in the neutral zone, well, now they have full possession. So why would I go, especially if I'm not a very good team or if I'm trying to clamp things down, why would I go hard? So what I would do is maybe take a side, force them one way. So this would be your first guy, right? Because they got possession. And they have your second guy would be in the dots, third guy in the dots, and then you got your D and your D. So now if they come out this side, the D comes out this side, this guy gets underneath them, and this guy forechecks this guy slides. So it's your neutral zone in the offensive zone. That's all, right? If it's a 50-50 puck now, meaning the puck is, or the D grabs it here and there's a forward on him here, or it's dumped in and it's like a race for the puck. Well, now you're looking at a little bit defensive, but this guy's looking at taking the puck. The second guy's reading, okay, it looks like we're going to get that puck. I need to support him as F2 and F3, right?